I am Evan Boyko. I am an associate attorney here at Skillern firm. Handle all sorts of family law matters from divorce, custody, SAPSR matters to protective orders, adoptions, prenups, anything that you can possibly think of. We handle it all. I've been an attorney for 9 years. I've had the opportunity to speak at a CLE for behalf of Skillern firm, a family violence CLE, and hope to do more work like that moving forward. Inspiration for me for family law probably started with my time at the DA's office in Harris County, working with victims, family violence victims particularly. I would say those early assault family member cases really drove home the point for me what I wanted the thrust of my work to be as an attorney, which was representing victims across the gender spectrum, across the sexuality spectrum, as there are male and female and otherwise victims. But I think that's where my initial passion came, which ultimately led me to AVDA, which is Aid to Victims of Domestic Abuse. I spent several years there. Loved my time there as a sexual assault attorney, and when the opportunity with Skillern firm opened up, I felt that I had enough family law practice under my belt at that time to give it a run here, and I haven't looked back since. It's been wonderful. I think the primary philosophy in family law is making sure that you are listening to your client, no matter what they are coming in with, whether that be post-traumatic stress disorder, or complex post-traumatic stress disorder, or goodness, anything under the sun. It is vitally important, especially in your first intake interview, to fully hear the client and to understand where they are uniquely coming from, as it differs with each individual client you have. I don't think there's any roadmap for how to kind of handle or move through a family law case, aside from what we were all taught in law school. It really is a case-by-case basis. Emotions play a paramount role in that, and I think giving your client the space to express his or her truth and to follow them through on their path towards whatever it may be, whether it's divorce or custody, I think that ensures you are always doing right by your client. I feel like I have always placed kind of the divorce context, for instance, less as a death, less as a grieving process, and more so as a way to kind of turn the next chapter in your life, to find positivity in that separation. If there are children involved, to find a way to have these people co-parent for however many more years that they are going to have to co-parent, because when the case is done and gone, these people still have to live together, still have to exist together. And I take a great deal of pride in making sure that wherever we are setting up our client moving forward, they can be autonomous and they can choose how to interact with this other individual moving forward in a way that isn't deleterious or isn't impacting them in a negative way like it would have during a marriage. For myself, listening is first and foremost. That, again, as I said, it was paramount. Letting them know that you will hear them, and even if you have a counterpoint or are playing devil's advocate to whatever they may say, acknowledging what their concerns are, their frustrations are. I would also say being vulnerable, allowing yourself to maybe draw on personal events from your own life to kind of take the sting out of the room, the situation, the story that they are giving you, to let them know that they are not uniquely alone in that situation. Even though they're unique, even though their situation is not one that has ever probably been replicated by any other human or set of humans before, the ability to kind of draw together and create some sort of camaraderie based on those shared experiences, I think, is very important, even if they're drastically different as far as violence, abuse, or financial issues, whatever they may be. I think it's how demanding it is. I've practiced some civil law, I've done criminal law, and now in family law, I feel like for me, it is the best of all worlds. I thoroughly enjoy the challenge of a family law client. They are all different, they are all with different needs and expectations, but I think being able to come into work every day to have a new challenge to work on, even if it's something you've done in the past, it adds a breath of fresh air to the day-to-day interaction and allows you to remain passionate, remain engaged. For family law clients, again, hearing them and being able to follow them through the entire process is paramount to everything. I mean, results aside, if you are doing your client's bidding in the way that they want you to do it, and if it's obviously ethical and legal, then you should be able to sleep well and easy at night. I have learned how to be a better father through my clients. I will say that. Whether that's through an opposing party, parenting in a way that illuminates for me how I should not be parenting, or whether it's my client doing something that I see is working and I see is connecting him or her with the child, I'm going to pick that up. I mean, I think as lawyers, we steal from each other all the time. I think the best lawyers are probably plagiarize from all the time. And same thing with our clients. I think if there's any life tips to be learned out of any of my interactions with my clients, I'm going to take them and run with them. And I've also learned patience from my clients. A lot of them go through this process. It's long, it's arduous, and it can take over a year from time to time. But that ability to kind of ride that wave with them, the ups and the downs of it, I have learned patience through that process and guiding that. I do feel I'm good in court. I can be a bulldog for you, but I don't think those are my strengths. I think my strengths are being able to restrain myself from that type of action in order to reach a deal that is going to be most beneficial for a family, for a set of married people, for children, for whomever moving forward. You're never just dealing with the clients in your room. There are families, there are additional persons that are being impacted, affected by every action we make in here. If the relationship is not, if we were talking about kind of a divorce situation again, if the relationship is one that you do after much soul searching, after therapy, after whatever it is that you need to make those large decisions, if it is one that you are no longer seeing your future with a certain individual, I would say come in and see us, come in and speak with us. We're not always going to say that maybe a divorce is the best path forward for you, but we want to work through those issues with you. You need people to bounce this off of. If it's not us, reach out to family and friends that you trust, people that will hold this stuff close to the vest. If I can say anything about my strengths, again, I'm going to take it back to the ability to listen and to know what my client wants, needs, deserves. And once they leave the office, then figuring out the best, most cost-effective way to get to that goal. I've been through a lot of ups and downs in my life. Before becoming a lawyer, I was pre-med and I did cancer research. Clearly did not work out for me, but I think knowing what it is that is your strength and pursuing that with as much zeal and as much vigor as you possibly can, that is something I can impart on clients. I can certainly let clients know that mistakes are just that in life. They are not indicators of your identity or who you are. Oftentimes those things can and should be learned from, and those are the types of things that I hope I can kind of push clients towards understanding and towards kind of reckoning with in their own lives. I think we've all had ups and downs. I think we've all had a lot of trauma in our lives, and I think dealing with all of those traumas is something that I am very good at.